All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to talk about mastering the art of, well, talking to AI. It's a whole discipline called prompt engineering, and it's what takes you from just asking an AI a question to actually architecting how it thinks. Pretty cool, right?
So, have you ever asked an AI something and gotten back just total nonsense? I mean, a weird, completely wrong answer? Yeah, we've all been there. It's super frustrating. But here's the thing. What if the problem isn't always the AI? What if it's actually about how we're asking the question?
And this right here shows you exactly what I mean. On the left, you've got this super vague prompt. Tell me about web apps. The answer? It's fine, I guess, but it's generic. But look at the right. A properly engineered prompt gets you a sharp, focused answer. That is the power we're talking about, getting the AI to give you precisely what you're looking for. So, what is prompt engineering really? Well, you can think of it as the rule book for talking to AI. It's how you structure your words and instructions to guide the AI to the right answer. It's not just about commanding it, it's about designing a path for it to follow. It's part art, part science, and a whole lot of trial and error. Okay, so here's what we've got on deck. We'll go beyond a simple question, look at the AI's basic language, and cover something called zero to few shot prompting. Then we'll get into how AIs think, how to control their creativity, and what the future looks like for a prompt architect. Let's do it. All right, first up, the AI's basic language. We got to understand the rules of the game before we can really start playing, right? And don't worry, this isn't about code. It's about how the AI actually sees and processes our words. So there are two key terms you absolutely have to know. First, tokens. An AI doesn't see words like we do. It sees these little pieces, which can be whole words or just parts of them. And second, the context window. This is basically the AI's short-term memory. Everything you say and everything it says back has to fit inside this limited space. If it falls out, the AI forgets it ever happened. So yeah, being concise is a really, really big deal. Okay, so with those limits in mind, here are some foundational best practices. These are huge. First, put your instructions right at the top of the prompt. Don't bury them. Second, use separators, like 3 hashtags or quotes, to wall off your instructions from your context. It just makes it so much clearer for the AI. Also, be super specific and detailed. And a big one, tell the AI what it should do, not what it shouldn't. Saying right in a formal tone works way better than don't sound casual. All right, on to our next section, from zero to few shot. Now that we've got the basics down, this is where things get really interesting. We're going to look at how AIs can actually learn on the fly. The magic behind this is called in-context learning, or ICL, and it's honestly one of the wildest things about modern AIs. You can literally teach them how to do something new just by giving them a few examples right there in the prompt. Now, this learning is only temporary. It doesn't retrain the whole model, but for getting a specific result, it is an absolute game changer. So the simplest way to prompt is what we call zero shot. It's exactly what it sounds like. You give it 0 examples. You just ask it to do something, like translate cat to French. It's relying completely on what it already knows. It works, sure, but you don't have much say in how it gives you the answer. Now we start to see that in-context learning in action. With one-shot prompting, we give it just a single example. See how we did dog to chien? We didn't just ask for a translation. We showed it the format we want. That one little example is enough to guide the AI to follow our pattern. And then we have the real powerhouse, few-shot prompting. Here, we give it a few examples, creating a super clear and robust pattern. By the time the AI sees dog to chien and house to maison, it knows exactly what to do. This seriously boosts the accuracy and reliability of the output. Honestly, for any complex task, this is your go-to technique. Okay, moving on to our third section, how AIs actually think. So far, we've told the AI what to do. Now, we're going to start telling it how to think. This is where we get into some really advanced reasoning frameworks. So we're going to look at 3 big ones. You've got chain of thought, which is all about step-by-step logic. Then there's tree of thoughts, which is more like brainstorming different options. And finally, react, which lets the AI actually use external tools to find information. Let's take a closer look at each one. Chain of thought is, well, it's brilliant. You can literally just add the phrase, let's think step by step to your prompt to activate it. What it does is force the AI to kind of show its work. It breaks the problem down one logical step at a time. This is amazing for things like math or logic problems because it keeps the AI from just guessing or jumping to the wrong conclusion. Tree of thoughts is the next level up. So instead of just one linear path, like in chain of thought, it explores multiple paths at the same time. It's like asking the AI to brainstorm. It can come up with a few different ideas, weigh the pros and cons of each, and then pick the best one. You can see how this would be a game changer for stuff like strategic planning. And then there's React, which, this feels like something out of science fiction. React stands for reason and act. It lets the AI use tools, like it can decide it needs to know something, go search for it online, read the result, and then incorporate that new info into its reasoning. It's this continuous loop: reason, act, observe. This gives the AI a way to deal with real-time information, which is just, wow. Okay, our fourth section. Controlling AI creativity. So we've figured out how to control the AI's logic. Now let's talk about controlling its personality. We're going to learn how to fine-tune the dial between strictly factual and super imaginative.
And the number one tool for this is a parameter called temperature. You could think of it as a randomness dial. A low temperature means the AI plays it safe. It picks the most predictable, most likely next word. But a high temperature, that tells the AI to take risks, to choose more surprising, less common words.
Let's look at an example. We ask it to write a sentence about a cat, and we set the temperature way down low, to 0.1. What do we get? The cat sat on the mat. It's the most boring, predictable sentence ever. But it's also correct and factual. This is perfect for when you need a summary or you're extracting data and you can't have any creative nonsense. But now, look at this. Same exact prompt, but we've cranked the temperature way up to 1.5. And we get a feline shadow danced across the moonlit cobblestones, a whisper of forgotten sagas. Whoa, right? Totally different vibe. The AI took creative risks. This is what you want for brainstorming or any kind of creative writing. And the key here is that the prompt didn't change at all, just that one little setting. And that brings us to our final section, the prompt architect's future. So where is all of this heading? We've seen how we can go from a simple question to designing this whole complex reasoning process. This really is the future of how we work with AI. This is really the big idea I want you to walk away with. Prompt engineering changes our relationship with AI. We're not just users anymore. We are becoming architects. We're the ones designing the thought process, building the mental scaffolding that the AI uses to solve problems. That's a huge shift. And that leaves us with a pretty deep question to think about. As AI gets smarter and smarter, do we just get better at being architects? Or do we eventually build an AI that can learn to architect itself? It's a fascinating thought, and honestly, the answer is still being written.